Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you doing? Good morning, everybody. It is 8 a.m. on the dot on a Monday morning here. I got about an hour and a half before I head on off to host SEN Live this morning. Looking forward to that. A lot to talk about there. But I can't thank you all enough for joining in on the chat. It's some of you might want to, send some chat through here or put some comments in, whatever. Maybe some of you want to donate on the super chat, feel free, or even on the Streamlabs. And I think that's www.streamlabs.com, John Rocha. I think that's what it is. And you can do it that way. But I'm here just to talk and just kind of get in touch with everybody. I'm still figuring this whole thing out. As you can tell, it's a lot more expansive now. What's going on here, we're making some changes in the office, making some room to be able to do more of these live streams and even host a few more, like maybe of the Geek Buddy shows, which is what we might be doing live now in the office as well. So there's a lot going on here that I'm excited about. But I want to see how you all are doing here. Let's see, we've got anything and everything in the chat here. Videos by Andrew in the chat. What's up, Outlaw? What's up, Andrew? How are you? I've been curious about your Picard thoughts since Thursday. Philip Butler, RIP to all lost in yesterday's horrible helicopter crash. Parents taking their kids to a game. Should have been a happy day for them. Anything, everything says, hope everyone is well this morning. And Nathan Stowe says, RIP Kobe. Absolutely. Richard Ford, this is for all the Lakers fans around the world. Yesterday, we lost a legend of the game. May he rest in peace beside his lovely little girl and his other friends. RIP. Real Geek Kev says, good morning, John. Good morning, Real Geek Kev. How are you, my man? Matt and Caleb Graham says, the Rated R Superstar returns. Absolutely. He is back. That was incredible. Talk about that in a little bit here. DJ-TV, hashtag all the subscribers. I hope so. My goal now, I've been doing a lot of content over the last few days. Look, I'll be honest with you all. It took me a while to kind of get going after the situation with Collider. I think I hit the ground running as soon as things fell apart and we were let go. And I had to take last week. I think I had some emotional shit I had to kind of process and go through because I hadn't really taken my own time to kind of process it and figure out what I'm going to do next. And I had all these plans, but then I also have to be, and the thing I've learned about myself, and maybe some of you are learning this as well, you have to take care of yourself first. Not much can happen if you don't take care of yourself first. Oh, let me close that. All right. Anyway, not much can happen if you don't take care of yourself first. It can be, you can have a breakdown or have a bad interaction with somebody because you haven't really figured it out for yourself. Oh, I'm trying to get the right, there we go. Okay, figure it out for yourself. So I had to do that. But now that I've kind of put that away and kind of accepted where the situation is, I'm really focusing on making more happen here in the world for myself, for the Outlaw Nation, and for anybody else who's coming aboard on this thing. So we'll see. We'll see what happens as we go along through this process. But I do want to say to all of you, thanks so much for being patient with me as I put this all together, because I definitely have massive plans for the Outlaw Nation. Already started the process of negotiating where I could put some of these shows up on camera in a studio. So there's all that going on in my head right now. So hopefully I'll have announcements coming for that soon. But anyway, I just had to take a little bit of time. So thank you all for being so patient with me. And now we're going forward. Let's see here. And I want to get to 20,000 subscribers. That's my goal now. So many of you come aboard so quickly. It was pretty overwhelming. Over 11,000 subscribers at this point. But I want to get to 20,000. And the way to get to 20,000 is to be consistent with the content and to give you more content, variety of content. As you can tell already on the channel, I've got Deep Cut up there. I've got the live streams up there. I've got the event videos that I got sent. If you haven't seen the Zombieland Double Tap event video, which is pretty cool, got to do some monster trucking. There's video of me monster trucking in there, along with a bunch of other people like the Real Rejects. This is so much fun. And then Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, getting to interview them as well. And also this morning, we dropped our first episode of the pro wrestling show that I'm going to have on the Outlaw Nation. It's called Strong Style. And I'm co-hosting it with Aaron Turner. Some of you may remember that Aaron and I hosted a recap of Raw and SmackDown for Collider. We called it Collider Body Slam for a little bit. And then Ryan Satin came in with Pro Wrestling Sheet, and then Ryan and I took over the recaps, and we're doing them and we're having a lot of fun doing them. But this show is different. It's not a recap show. This show is taking one classic match from the history of pro wrestling, breaking it down, talking about its legacy, going over the storylines that were happening before the match even started, and what the effect of the match was overall down the road. Our first episode dropped this morning. You can go take a look at it. It was in honor of the Royal Rumble, which happened this weekend. We revisited the 1992 Royal Rumble, specifically focusing on Flair's victory, going over an hour in the Royal Rumble to win, at the time, the WWF singles championship. So that's what we did for the first episode of Strong Style. So you can go and watch it up on YouTube. It is on video. We did it over Skype video, or you can listen to it on podcast. It's up on Anchor and on Spotify. So you can go and find it there on Strong Style. All right. Let's get into this thing. Videos by Andrew says the belt looks good up there. Damn right it does. Ben Rayner, hi Rocha, how are you? Happy Monday. Hope it was a good weekend. It was. Yesterday was a bit wonky, and we'll talk about that. Manny Gonzalez, hey John, I hope you're doing okay after yesterday. Thank you. Trevor Turner, it was a crazy weekend. Truth. DJ Dash TV, glad you're doing well, my man. Big fan. Brian Lindsay, great to see you back, John. Keep rocking on, my man. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. Suph Pathik says, I'm from India, not a big basketball fan, but the passing of Kobe was a shock. He's just one of those names in the cultural zeitgeist synonymous with basketball and huge names. Absolutely. Ricky Perez Jr., hey, Rocha, just want to say as a fellow Latino and Liverpool supporter, you're a huge inspiration. You never walk alone. Thank you so much, Ricky. Same back to you, all of you who reach out to tell me how much you are inspired by what I do, which is, by the way, crazy to even think about and super humbling for a guy like me. I can't tell you how much that feeling is returned to you all when I feel it, as when I see those comments as well. Andrew G's much better setup, John. Looking good, my man. Yeah, thank you. DJ Dash TV, love these early shows for us morning people. Hell yeah, that's kind of my point. I kind of want to do stuff like that more and more in the morning. My goal is to maybe have one of these every day if I can, recapping stuff that happened the night before and then also, or the day before and the night before, and also talk about any news that breaks on the East Coast. Devin Vince says, good morning, John. Hope your morning is good. I want to say sorry, last stream you answered a bunch of questions for me. Just wanted to apologize if that added towards not keeping last stream up. No. Here's what happened on the last stream. I just was mad at myself because it was unprofessional. I felt like it was not, the audio wasn't great. The video wasn't great. And I just felt myself that I hadn't prepared correctly. And that I felt, as a person who is professional about what he does, I want to convey that professionalism with any video that anybody clicks on the Outlaw Nation channel. So if I don't get it right and it's just me, I'm going to take it down. So this is what the setup is now. This looks great. I love this look. We're going to have more stuff in the back there once it clears up and what have you. And I'll be putting up some lights and the stuff in the windows, all that kind of jazz. So there'll be more coming down the pike as you see the look as it now. It's developing, and I appreciate you all being so awesome to stay with me. Let's see here. Real Geek Kev says Edge looked fantastic. No ring rust. Yeah, notice it made this old wrestling fan smile. You weren't the only one. Aaron Turner texted me and said it just got him emotional to see Edge come back. Andrew G just finished 7 Samurai Cinephiles after watching the film for the first time last night. Love Cinephiles. Would love to hear you guys do Batman 89, which I rewatched recently. We'll see. I don't think Batman 1989 holds up anymore like it used to, so it's not really my favorite Batman film to go back and revisit. I think we'll do the Nolan trilogy before we even do any of those Batmans from Tim Burton. But thank you so much for downloading that episode. For those of you who don't know, the Cinephiles is up. That's my other podcast that I host with my friend Steve Morris, who is a writer and director here in Los Angeles. We broke down, we're currently in the month of Kurosawa right now. We broke down 7 Samurai, so over 2 weeks. So it's 2 separate episodes, part 1 and part 2. Part 2 just dropped on Friday, so go and listen to that. And then this weekend, this Friday, we will drop our commentary track for Yojimbo, which a lot of the Patreon fans have requested. All right, Hogan eliminating, okay. Let's see here. Where was I? Just finished. Okay, Ric Flair. Yes, it was Ric Flair in '92. So go take a look at that. Anything, everything. So glad last night's Rumble was actually good and entertaining. Manny Gonzalez, I like that you're doing classic stuff. I hope you get to do more NWA, WCW stuff. Absolutely, Manny. That is on tap for sure. Roberto Arsenal, Hogan eliminating Sid was such a heel move, but he was still a babyface. Right. But that was also when people started to turn on Hogan. And you should listen to that, or you should watch the episode. We talk about all of that. Trust me. Oh, Paul, what's up, dude? Thanks so much for coming in, man. Are you moderating? I appreciate it. What's up, everybody? Paul says, love the 92 Rumble recap. Oh, thanks for listening to it, Paul. it was great to sit down with Aaron and do that. We were only going to go an hour, and somehow we went an hour 20 because we love that Rumble so much. So let's see here. What else? Greatest wrestling. Okay, yeah. Manny, a bit before my time. Give me Mankind any day. I'm sure we'll get to that Mankind Rock match, that legendary chairs across the head match at some point down the road. Benjamin Flagg, anytime I see Rocha on anything I click, always informed and entertaining. Thanks, Outlaw. Thank you, Benjamin. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you, man. Just trying to make a name for myself now that I'm out on my own, building this thing step by step. Let's see. Manny Gonzalez thinks it's the greatest Royal Rumble ever. Jake and Hunt, thoughts on the Rumble? I thought it was one of the best in recent years. Definitely. We'll talk about it in just a second. I'm so sad for the loss of Kobe. Jeremiah Fuertes says we're going to talk about that first. DJ Dash, John, the Goat Rocha, thank you. Who do you mold your Schmoedown persona after? Which wrestlers are your biggest inspirations for the Outlaw? Well, it's The Rock. Number one it's a combo of The Rock and Stone Cold. It's really The Rock and Stone, because Stone Cold wasn't really known for delivering these great promos. He was known for telling you how it is, and that's the bottom line, which was great in Austin 316, which was awesome. But The Rock is legendary for his promos. So promo-wise, The Rock, persona-wise, Steve Austin, and of course, a little bit of Hogan thrown in when I need to have it in there as well. All right, Dan Besher. Oh, thank you on the super chat. How awesome was it to see Edge back? It was awesome. I loved it. I didn't see it coming at all. And, I was already excited in the Women's Royal Rumble when Molly Holly came out. And then when Beth Phoenix came out, and Beth Phoenix was great to see her last so long. She was bleeding out of the back of her head, and she's a warrior. She fought. This is a mom. And she fought through it and had blood coming down her hair and her head. It was pretty incredible. But when Edge came out, I think everybody lost their mind because people know about Edge's issues with his neck, Edge's injury woes. Remember, I think early last year, he had gone back and forth with Becky Lynch, and Becky Lynch had made a joke about his neck injuries. So there was a lot that was going on there as well that I thought was, shocking to see Edge come back and confront and go through and succeed at. And it was just, when you watch the Royal Rumble, nowadays it's for the surprises, right? People who are coming back, like MVP coming back was awesome. Who saw that coming? All those things that happened throughout the Royal Rumble. And then with the women's Royal Rumble was about, getting people to know the NXT ladies more. So we saw a lot of those, which was great. So that was awesome. All right, Dwayne Rivera says, hey, John, just want to give some money. Man, I only cried 3 times when a celebrity died. 1 was Sean Taylor, 2 was Robin, and now Kobe, R.I.P. Kobe. All right, so let's talk about that. And thank you for bringing it up, Dwayne, and thank you so much for your super chat. I agree with you. I cried when Sean Taylor died as well. I'm a Redskins fan. Number 21, it was just heartbreaking to see his passing, because Sean was one of those guys that had gotten into some trouble. He's from the University of Miami. He came out of there, came into the Redskins. He was incredible, very memorable player for us. And there was so much potential here, could really boss a defense. And we've seen people like Richard Sherman, people like Ronnie Lott, these cornerbacks, these defensive backs, these safeties John Lynch is another one that can really control a defense and inspire a defense to play so well. And Sean Taylor was one of those guys. And when he passed, the way he passed with a break-in at his house, getting shot in the leg and bleeding out, was just heartbreaking on so many levels. And I think this is kind of akin to that. And by that, I mean, this is a young kid like Kobe Bryant. He was only 41. He was just about to turn into this new lane of his life. He was building it as a film and TV mogul. And unfortunately, he died yesterday in a helicopter crash in Calabasas with his 13-year-old daughter, Gianna. It's just such an incredible tragedy for so many reasons, right? I mean, if you watch me on Sports Time, or if you listen to me on Dropping Dimes, I've always been a little hesitant to give Kobe all the credit in the world, because I felt like Kobe shot too much. He didn't pass enough and whatever. But you can't deny that Kobe won 5 titles playing his way, right? Playing with Shaq and then without Shaq. And 5 titles is not something that you can discount. And he was you could say, arguably, he was the alpha dog for a majority of those titles. Certainly Shaq, I think, in the first 2 titles when they were together, but Kobe took over the 3rd title, which kind of maybe led to their breakup. Kobe wanting to be the alpha dog, then won those 2 titles after that to solidify his status as one of the greatest ever. And I think I posted about this on Twitter. Whatever your feelings about Kobe Bryant, it's the idea of someone young passing. He was only 41. He had left an incredible legacy in the NBA, and he was turning this corner after winning that Oscar in 2018, just a couple of years ago, for his animated short, that, by the way, John Williams, the great John Williams, did the score for. So people had a window into the possibilities of what he could be, and were consumed with seeing what was next for Kobe. And let me tell you something, having lived in this city for 20 years, I've seen Kobe's, ascendancy throughout. And so to see him pass away in this way, I mean, I was in the Sprouts when I got the news. I got like 10 texts from, excuse me, got 10 texts from so many different people who were saying to me, Kobe's gone. And I couldn't believe it. Right. And I checked, and people were sending me links and articles, and I didn't want to believe it. And even my girlfriend was like, don't believe it until the police or the coroner confirm it. A big celebrity like that has to be confirmed by the outside sources. But then when Wojciechowski tweeted about it, I knew it was real. And I froze, just froze. And my girlfriend was still, going about doing the grocery, but I froze, and I was watching other people discover that Kobe had passed and their reactions to it. So that was just heartbreaking on so many levels. And it's the promise of youth, of what was to come. And, I said this at the time. I'm going to answer all your super chats, so please be patient with me. One of the things that I said at the beginning and the title of this is Kobe Bryant Henry V? And by that, I mean, if you remember the Shakespeare play of Henry V, and of course, it's not 100% historically accurate, but in the play, Henry puts away the stuff of his youth after his father passes so that he can assume the mantle of the king and lead England into this battle at Agincourt against France, where they were the underdog like crazy, and many people probably counseled him not to do it, but he did it, and he won against all odds, against the mightier French, against the French that were, I think it was 5-1. They were, in terms of the amount of 5 French to 1 Englishman that was on that battlefield. Incredible odds, and they did it. And that was phenomenal. So it was this, and what they spoke about was this idea that he was putting away the problems of his youth, the issues of his youth, and he was assuming the mantle of the king, and he was becoming a mature adult who understood his power in the world, the ramifications of his actions to his people. And I think Kobe was doing that. Look, as much as I may have an issue with Kobe and how he played basketball and how he was a bit of a ball hog and how he had remember that game where he refused to shoot the entire second half to kind of throw it in the face of the reporters. Remember the arrogance of him. And of course, you cannot talk about Kobe Bryant without talking about the Colorado rape case. A lot of stuff that was happening around that. We have to be real here. He was accused of raping this young woman in Colorado. I think she was a front desk receptionist. She went in there to his room, and then things happened, and she claimed that he wanted him to stop. He didn't stop, and it was an issue. The charges were eventually dropped, and then they settled out of court in a civil case. But that left a lot of bad taste in people's mouths. He was the subject of a lot of jokes, the butt of a lot of jokes. I remember one of those way back when on page 2 of ESPN, which is Bill Simmons' old thing before Grantland. There was I think a cartoon of a dog holding up a $4 million ring in its mouth to give to Vanessa, who is Kobe's wife. And that was like a parody of the fact that that's how far Kobe had to go to ask for forgiveness for what he had done. And cheating on his wife, but also possibly the rape. And the other thing about that is that he seemed to be working hard after that time to kind of slowly realize what he'd done, realize the ramifications. And because none of us were in that room, it's between those two people. And you saw what he was doing in his community, raising 4 daughters, repairing things with his wife, leading the Lakers, starting to become around 2010, 2011, really starting to become a voice of bringing people together, of like carrying the game on his back, being the face of the game once and for all. And I liken to that when Henry finally assumes the mantle of king and completely changes his behavior. They have that scene in Henry V when he turns on Falstaff. When Falstaff comes to interrupt his progression, his procession, the celebration of him becoming king, walking, and he says to Harry, Hal, my boy. And Harry says, I know thee not, old man. And Falstaff falls just crestfallen, broken, and protests. He says, but we have seen the chimes at midnight, Master Harry. Basically inferring we've had our fun, we've had our laughs. Now let's go get it, have even more fun at a higher level with you as the king and me as your friend Falstaff, and let's take advantage of everything. And Henry turns his back on him because it's Henry turning his back on the perils of his youth. And I feel like Kobe was doing that. A lot of people, there's a Vanity Fair article, please go find it, talking about, which I think Anthony Bresnikan retweeted or tweeted, talking about his what he was going to do as a film mogul and TV mogul and all that. Kobe's plans, his visions, the podcasts, the shows, the kids stuff, teaching his daughter. He started showing up over last year, teaching his daughter the NBA because he wanted her to get into the WNBA. And by the way, so many sports leagues came out and promoted Kobe afterwards as well and tweeted about it. Sort of the U.S. Soccer program, Kobe was there at a lot of games, always promoting soccer, which of course may be a part of the fact of because Kobe was raised in Italy for so long through his teen years and younger years as well. In Italy for like 7 years, I think, with his dad, who was playing basketball there, Jelly Bean Bryant. Maybe that was the reason he had developed an affinity for soccer. And of course, Neymar gave him a tribute when he scored for PSG the other day, the 2-4. He put that up there. So, and then the WNBA came out and said there was no greater supporter. Rebecca Lobo tweeted how there was no greater supporter of the WNBA than Kobe. And that tells you volumes about this guy. He was starting to understand what his power was in the world, as I said a few minutes ago. His effect on the people who believed in him, who liked him, the people who saw him as a symbol of possibilities, of change, of what can happen when you get into your mature years. Plus, he was raising 4 daughters who he was teaching, 4 women, young women who he was teaching the values of what he wanted to have in the world. And of course, Vanessa Bryant, that's really another person you need to be feeling an incredible amount of sympathy for this morning. What is it like to lose your husband, your partner, your life partner, the father of your children, and one of your daughters? My God, what she must be experiencing. And if she heard about it through an outlet instead of being told by the police or by any of the people involved in the LA coroner's office, what is that experience like? So, yes, of course, mourn for the loss of what could have been for Kobe, but also mourn the sadness that Vanessa must be feeling at bone deep level for the loss of her husband and her daughter, the potential of that. It's just heartbreaking, incredibly heartbreaking. Let's get to some of your super chats. Thank you for indulging me on that. I appreciate it. Junko Tamaya says, big fan of the Horsemen, Cinephiles, and Geek Buddies. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Junko. It means a lot to me. Ben Rayner said, it still doesn't feel real to me about Kobe. He's a legend for sure. Going to be missed. R.I.P. Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you see there, guys, I appreciate all the super chats. You can also go to Streamlabs because Super Chat takes about 30% of the money you donate for themselves. But if you go to Streamlabs, all of that goes towards me and what I'm building here, which you can see behind me, little things, step by step, piece by piece, building out more of the studio. And also, if you want to go to my Patreon, it's www.patreon.com/John Rocha. And there, John Mariano and I are going to have discussions this week about me being way more active in the Patreon so that I can earn your contributions, your support for what I'm trying to build here, and what I'm trying to do with the Outlaw Nation. So if you want to donate through Streamlabs, that is a better situation for me. And let me see if there are any currently right now as we go almost at the half-hour break. Let me see if we've got any donations going on here for the Streamlab. Let's see here. What have I got? Can I get to that place? You know me. It's always weird with the Streamlabs. I'm always the best at fighting it. So, all right, cool. There we go. All right, let's see where we're at. All right. And maybe just streamlabs.com gets me there to where I need to be so I can sign in. And yeah, I know I probably should have done this ahead of time. I can hear you all going crazy like, Rocha, you should have done it ahead of time. Well, you're right. You're right. You win. I got a lot going on in my mind. All right, let's see here. We do have one. Yeah, Andrew DiMolanta. Hey, what's up, my man? He says, if a Schmoedown movie was to be made and the Outlaw was the main character, oh, God, who would you cast to play you and who would you get to direct? Whew. I tell you what, before he passes, to get Clint Eastwood to direct the Outlaw story in the Schmoedown would be incredible. You know, I can just imagine the scenes that we would do, obviously that he direct. Let's see, who would play me? I don't know who would play me. Who's a young up and coming kid who could play the Outlaw? I don't know. It's a good question though. I don't know. Who could play the Outlaw? And what do you guys think? I mean, Tom Hardy comes to mind, but I don't know. Well, he's younger than me, so he could play it. It could work. Tom Hardy playing the Outlaw, playing a cowboy coming in. But of course, maybe there's is there a Latino actor out there? Maybe Gabriel Luna. Maybe Gabriel Luna from Terminator Dark Fate. I've been following him on Instagram. Great follow, by the way. I am Gabriel Luna. You should go and follow him as well. But he's an interesting cat with a lot of interesting tastes. Just like me, all over the place, very tastes. So I think it'd be interesting to see Gabriel Luna play me. You have to bulk up a little bit, but I think he could play me. Let's see. Was that all the super chats? Yeah. All right, cool. Let me go back to some of these chat comments here. I know you guys did The Shining on Cinephiles. Have you seen Dr. Sleep? If so, what'd you think real quick? Andrew G. I thought it was okay. I mean, nothing to write home about, to be honest with you. I was a bit disappointed. I was hoping that it would be a lot more moving or thrilling or interesting. But in the end, I just thought it was a serviceable film that had the potential to be more. But I thought Rebecca Ferguson was fantastic, certainly, and Ewan McGregor did a great job as well. So, but in the end, it wasn't my cup of tea. Brendan Gallagher finally saw 1917, thought it was beautifully shot and a really good movie. Just found it weird that in the middle of war, our main character wouldn't. Oh yeah, no spoilers. All right, Eric Kirby, I understand what you're saying, but this is the kind of thing where people always perform in war like you think they're going to perform. And the humanity of war, I think, brings the tragedy of that moment out even more. Even in war, when you can try to be human, try to be kind, things can blow up in your face. So, all right, let's see. Let me bend this down just a little bit more. Yeah. All right. Mr. Kirby, Mr. Rocha, did you see what LeBron said about Kobe after he passed him on the second scoring list on Saturday? Damn, man, this is going to mess with LeBron's head pretty bad. Yeah, if you saw the video of LeBron when he got off the plane, by the way, this was insane. I mean, I was born in Philadelphia. You know, Kobe has a strong connection to Philadelphia because of his father. I remember those games were always interesting when Kobe went and played in Philadelphia. Certainly that All-Star game in Philadelphia was incredible for him as well. So the Lakers just happened to be playing the 76ers in Philadelphia, and we're on the way back from Philadelphia on the airplane when the news broke that Kobe had passed. So heartbreaking on so many levels, and the things that connect it all, just kind of very interesting, the coincidences that were going on with this situation here. Brian, JB Bonifacio, trying to see it from their perspective, but I personally can't shake the feeling that people that were shading on Kobe yesterday are ridiculous. Well, JB, everyone's going to react to things how they react to things. Some people have an argument that they're trying to make that they don't want people to forget, and that's their prerogative, and that's their approach to it. Do I think people who didn't know the man and were shitting all over the man were feeling themselves a little bit? Yes, I think that's inappropriate. I think if you want to focus on one thing and ignore all the other things he did charity-wise, all the stuff he was doing for his daughters, all the stuff he was doing for all the stuff he'd done to repair what had happened with to him and his wife, that's your prerogative to do that. I think some other people have a little different perspective on it. That's all, and feel like that stuff should be weighed a little heavier against what happened in Colorado. Because again, none of us were in that room, and of course she certainly. I've spoken to a number of women who read her accounts and go, "That sounds familiar to me. I've been through that." So it's very well possible that happened, and certainly settling out of court, you could look at it both ways. With a civil settlement, you could say, "Oh, Kobe did it just to be done with it," or from a place of guilt. So you can go either way. But I think there are some people who have an axe to grind and felt the need to use it. There are some people who did it. I think there are some people who did it more appropriately than others. In my personal opinion, I saw one of the Washington Post writers put that stuff out, and it feels to me a little bit of arrogance or privilege or an indignant feeling like, oh, well, this or this. And I think that irritates me because that doesn't lead to discussion. That leads to division. And that's, I think, always a problem with that happens. Paul will behave in the chat. Oh, is there stuff going on? Same man. Sean was my favorite. I loved Robin with the shit heart. Yeah, Robin Williams is another one a lot of people feel. But Robin Williams had the disease. He took his life. That was sad for us that he took his life in that way, because we miss out on the humor and the comedy that was maybe coming from Robin Williams, the great movies, performances. But he was an older man. This is a kid who, 41 years old, is a man who is about to enter into the second stage of his career. And who knows, already having won an Oscar before he even fully embraced this new life, as who knows what was in store for him. And we know he was a socially conscious guy. He was a guy who wanted to make projects and wanted to make films and TV shows and podcasts that were about highlighting that stuff and making it palatable for people to understand and talk about and have hopefully breakthroughs on. So a lot of that is lost there. Nate M. Sims says, I'm the unpopular opinion that The Dark Knight isn't that good. One perfect performance doesn't a movie make. I don't agree. Devin, I honestly been waiting forever for McIntyre to get a big push. Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that in just a second. Let's get through some. Paul Denus, I will mod as long as I can, heading to see Last Full Measure with my favorite Ed Harris in an hour or so. Dude, Paul, enjoy that movie. Apparently, it's really, really good. And I think Ben was talking about it when we were on backstage. SEN last week, and he said it was pretty incredible. So I'll definitely watch it. Philip Butler, if you're going to break down legendary matches, here are two: Steamboat versus Savage, certainly from WrestleMania 3, Bret Hart versus Stone Cold. Well, that is our second episode. Bret, we announced it on the show. Listen to the show or watch the show. We announced on the show that the next episode will be tackling Bret Hart versus Stone Cold. And I think Aaron and I are going to record a quick reactions to the Rumble thing that we're going to put up on the channel as well. All right. Let's see here. Grimish, I made it. Yes, you did. Only good thing about the Rumble from Grimish's opinion is Edge came back. We'll talk about that. Philip Butler, Steamboat Dragon, WrestleMania 3 Classic. Absolutely. Sean Baker is the Macho Man Randy Savage of John Rocha is the Macho Man Randy Savage of the movie Trivia Schmoedown. Oh, I'd like to be a little. Oh, Randy didn't win 4 titles. Randy didn't win 4 titles as tag team and single. So I'd like to be a little bit higher than Randy, but I appreciate the compliments. Very kind of you. Chris Lee, John Rocha, I'd love to see an Edge Daniel Bryan match. Many thought their careers were over, so seeing them come back and then facing each other would be a blast. I don't disagree with that. I think Edge saw Ciampa's neck injury and got reevaluated. Medical has improved in the last 9 years. Great point, Jacob. Certainly a fantastic point. Certainly, if you look at other sports leagues, the ACL tears back in the old day meant that you wouldn't be able to do anything. You couldn't come back and play at the same level. But now ACL tears, people come back in less than a year. People resume their form quickly or quicker than they used to. So, yeah, great point. Grimish, there are rumors of Sting come back for Saudi Arabia event. Oh, God. I hope not. I hope he's all right. DJ Dash, Rocha, who are your top tag teams ever in the WWE Attitude Era? There's only one. Well, there's only one. The top is, of course, the New Age Outlaws. I mean, there's no better than the New Age Outlaws, and they have Outlaw in the title, so I kind of have to go with them. But I think you could also throw in the Rock and Sock Connection. Certainly, the Rock and Foley, just one of the most unusual tag teams ever in the history of pro wrestling. But you can't talk about great tag teams without talking about the Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys. Those were incredible tag teams that you got to watch during that time. So I still think the New Age Outlaws were overall the best tag team, because certainly they won so many titles during that time. But the most exciting, most thrilling tag teams, you'd have a hard time deciding between Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys, certainly, because, and if you ever want to enjoy a match, and I'm sure we'll talk about it down the road on Strong Style, that tag team match between the three of them, that tables, ladders, and chairs match, I think it was a Money in the Bank match or title on the thing match. That match is incredible. And way back when, years ago, when I first started doing one of these wrestling shows, I got to interview Edge about it, and it was a blast. All right, Chris Lee, at John Rocha, just saw an old interview where Kobe talked about using helicopters so he could make sure to pick up and drop off his kids at school. Yeah, that's another thing. There were 7 other people on that flight who passed away, a teammate and a parent of Gianna's on her basketball team. They were heading to a travel basketball game. Altobelli is the last name, and a lot of people are putting up that hashtag, RIP Altobelli family. So respect to them as well. But all those people who died on the plane, on the helicopter rather, heartbreaking tragedies overall who expects that to happen. And there's an irony here, and there's stuff to explore here, because apparently the LAPD had grounded their helicopters because of visibility issues there in Calabasas. So were they trying to take a chance? Were they pushing for? I don't know. And maybe we'll find out as the investigation goes on and on. We'll hear the stories. But either way, you know, all of us have that moment where we think, oh, I can make it, or I can do it, or I've done it a million times before. Maybe that was the situation, and the pilot felt they could get away with it, maybe with Kobe's blessing. And unfortunately, it might have led to this sad tragedy. Let's see. Yeah, 3 families were forever broken thanks to the tragedy. Yes, Manny Gonzalez agreed. Paul Denuzzo, Ben and Drew were streaming when the news hit, and their reaction was powerful. Yeah, Paul, absolutely. I saw that myself. Well, I think Ben or the Action Industry guys posted it this morning. Let me tell you something. You know, I'm older than Ben and Andrew by a little bit, and I remember being young. I remember the first time I heard about someone I knew, a celebrity I followed, a person I cared about passing. And watching it happen on Ben and Andrew's faces was very powerful, and something that I remember. I recall feeling. I remember being there and feeling that way, and the heartbreak of it all. And so, to me, that's what I come back to. And it was tough to watch those guys. And I think they did the right thing by stopping the stream and letting themselves process what had happened. Certainly, because Kobe was apparently very inspirational to Andrew, and I think it was Ben's favorite basketball player. I think he says that. And so, you know, that's the thing to think about too, is this generation of men in their 20s, or people in their 20s rather, could be male or female, who saw Kobe as this kind of world beater, you know, and a person who took a lot of hits trying to do things his way. And maybe there's some lessons there for them as they try to make their way in the world, and you know, kind of reinforce their status in the world as well. It might have been something as well. Videos by Andrew. Yeah, they stopped streaming after hearing the news. Yes, they did. Dan Besher, will Edge be a top face on Raw? You guys, I don't know if Edge is going to keep doing more than just the Royal Rumble. Let's take it slow with Edge. I mean, look, he did a lot of spears. He took a lot of hits to his neck. So let's just take it slow. We don't want to end up with an Ultimate Warrior situation. Remember, Warrior came back and people were so excited. Warrior pushed himself too hard and had a heart attack and died. So we don't want any of that to happen with Edge. We don't want Edge to get re-injured. So I don't see him assuming a full wrestling schedule. And if he does, then great. Of course, he'd be a fantastic face. But Edge, I love how older he looked. He looked like kind of like this is weird. He kind of looked like one of those mountain dudes up in the, you know, his face was skinnier. There were lines in his face. I loved it. He could go either way, heel or face, and it would totally work. And it was great to see Rated RKO get a little bit of a reunion in the Royal Rumble as well. Salvation 13 says he feels bad for Kobe's wife and daughters. His fourth daughter, oh, sorry, I lost it here. His fourth daughter, oh, sorry, guys, I lost it here a little bit. What does he say? So his fourth, I'm sorry. His fourth daughter was born just last year. Yes, he had a new baby. She will grow up not knowing her dad and sister. Heartbreaking. Oh, I think she'll know them. She won't personally know them, but I think she'll know all about them as she gets older. Let's see here. Let's move on to some other. Kobe was an AC Milan fan. There you go. From Shub Pathak. Yes. PC said Kobe just did a promo at the Bank LAFC. Yeah. See, and that's his love of soccer. It was always there for Kobe. Roberto Arsenal, Stephen A. Smith said Kobe was learning German recently and taking Mandarin lessons. Yeah, why not? I mean, Kobe was lining himself up to be an international mogul. And in the end, sadly, it is not going to happen. Alice Bryant, RIP Kobe Bryant. Let's see, Roberto Arsenal. Yeah, I guess there was a comment that was made. DJ Dash TV, deleting comment doesn't undo history. Every person should be accountable for their actions, legend or not. Sure. Don Tuween, do you think that they will rename the court as Staples Kobe Bryant Court? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of great Laker legends. Would they feel comfortable calling it that? I don't know, but I know the fans. I mean, so many fans showed up yesterday at the Staples Center to pay tribute to Kobe and lay flowers down, so much so that the Grammys, it was a big mess there because the Grammys were obviously happening there at LA Live. So it was just a massive situation down there. So if people were to name it, if there was a resolution maybe brought about by the mayor or the owner of the Lakers, Jeannie Buss, I don't know how many people would have an issue with it, to be honest with you. Because obviously you want to give it, you would think Magic first or Kareem or these other Laker legends that have played, but there's just something about Kobe and the way he affected Los Angeles. Like he transcended basketball for so many people, and that is a thing that I've discovered as more people have spoken to me about Kobe who were here during that time. As more people have talked to me about those situations, he transcended basketball for a lot of people. It was more what he symbolized. It was more what he was doing. It was more the promise of what was to come. That people are focusing on now. Certainly, a lot of people tweeted about, a lot of famous celebrities tweeted about their great experiences with Kobe and the interactions they'd had with him, and how he had kind of like settled down and was a more compassionate, open individual. And that happens. Let me tell you, as someone who went through his 20s as a pretty angry guy, who got into fights, who put holes in walls from anger, who had a lot of issues that he had to figure out through therapy and come to terms with a lot of the upbringing, that once you put that away, you can embrace the possibility of more in your life, And so I know for me, if I kept going down the path I was going in my 20s, there's no way I'd still be around. Either, a drunken situation or suicide or God knows what. But like those things were always there, and it's a process. And I know I'm a better person now than I was in my 20s. Was I still a caring, considerate, compassionate person in my 20s? Yes. But my anger always got the best of me in certain situations. And so if people were to talk about me from my 20s and not know me through now, or talk about me, they'd want to just hone on that. But if they had a conversation with me now, I think they'd see the difference in the growth. And I think a lot of us go through it. How many of us in our 20s are the same people we are in our 40s or whatever, 30s, whatever your age is? And that matters, appreciating that, putting that in perspective, that really matters. Let's see here. Who do you have winning the Super Bowl? I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. I still think the Chiefs, but we'll talk about that more. Real Geek Ev wants to know my favorite basketball movie. Mine is Hoosiers. Yeah, I think Hoosiers is pretty much it. Anything, everything. I finally saw Peanut Butter Falcon and wow, love it. Yeah, great movie. Fantastic movie. It won't get nominated for Best Picture. It wasn't nominated for Best Picture. None of the accolades were thrown at them, but it's one of those films that comes along every year. There are all these little hidden jewels every year in film that people discover later, or doesn't get the fanfare that a lot of people feel it should, and doesn't get that, that exposure that you'd like a film like that to get. And Peanut Butter Falcon is one of those. But you always want to hand it off to people and hope they enjoy it too. Morning, John from Rubik's 84. Hope all are well in LA. No question. Just cannot wait for London on May 2nd. Yeah, that's coming. Thank you so much. Also, Zion is, if you guys want to come see us live, that's the Top 10 Live. Me and Matt Nost, we're going to be in London May 2nd, King's Place. So if you want to go, I think go www.kingsplace.com. Look under May 2nd, and you'll see our show. We're trying to fill up the 400-seat theater. We really want to sell it out and kind of reclaim our status there in London. You guys, those of you who were there, who were there last year, it was such an incredible show. And, we had to put away the Houston show. We had to cancel the Houston show for now. We might still be going back in March, but we had to cancel it for now because of issues there. So we're really focusing on making that May 2nd show blow up like crazy. So come join us there. Zion is, this is anything, everything. Also, Zion is starting off great these last 2 games. Yes, he is. Zion is pretty incredible. Nate M is a Sixers fan. There was always love for him there. Yeah, there you go. Philadelphia for Kobe, for sure. Filippo Fabri says, R.I.P. Kobe, Italy, and city of Rieti. Remember you when play at Park City at 5 years. Love you, Kobe, and your son. Sorry for my language. Well, he didn't have a son. He had a daughter, my man. So I appreciate you saying that. And I'm sure Kobe does up there as well. Adam Zool, I'm from Malaysia. I'm so sad. Can't imagine how you all feel. So, hey, Adam, thanks for stopping in, man. I really appreciate it. And, yeah, a lot of us are just kind of processing it. Look, again, I'm not trying to say I'm some kind of Kobe lover or Kobe had this. No, Kobe was just one of these guys that symbolizes what could happen, what could be going. And so it's such a shame to see such a young man cut at such a young age with the potential to do more and change the world possibly, or change people who will change the world. You never know what your effect is when you do the things that you do, who's going to hear it at a certain moment, take it and, create something new and incredible in their world that will affect everyone going forward. Jake, what's up, Jake? How you doing? Jake Jacobetta is in the chat here. Warrior dying the day after his Hall of Fame induction was heartbreaking. He was a huge part of my childhood. Yeah, Jake. So you understand what I'm talking about. You don't want Edge to push himself too much. Hell, I was freaking out with how much Beth Phoenix was in there in that female on the women's Royal Rumble. So I don't want Edge to push himself too hard. J. Scott for real says, anybody see the art Boss Logic did the night before? Oddly prophetic. Oh, really? I haven't seen that. Yeah, I mean, when Kobe had been in third place on the scoring list, and LeBron had just passed him a couple of days ago, and Kobe had tweeted about it, his congratulations and all of that with him. So pretty incredible stuff, and very sad that all of that happening right afterwards. Danny Carvalho, what's up, Danny? He's in the chat here. Good morning, afternoon, people. Andrew G, I just found out about Color Out of Space and heard some of your great interview. Great job with that. Going to see it at a small old theater in Ottawa this week. I hope looks nuts. It is, Andrew. It's nuts in all the best way possible. Nicolas Cage is great. Jolie Richardson is fantastic. And yes, for those of you who don't know, Deep Cut is back. Those of you who are fans of the Deep Cut podcast over at Collider, Deep Cut is back. I'm calling it John Rocha's Deep Cut, really kind of putting my stamp on it. And my first guests were Madeline Arthur, Brendan Meyer, of course, the kid Brendan Meyer, and Elliot Knight, who you can hear doing Call of Duty Modern Warfare, one of the leads of that in the video game. Of course, a number of other TV shows and films. But all three of them, AfterBuzz Studios was very kind to let me have one of their studios to do the interview. We did the podcast interview, and so many of you have watched it already, over 1,200 people. If you've watched it or listened to it, rather, and on my YouTube channel, which I appreciate very much. And Color Out of Space is a nutty, nutty film that you got to see. And I just found out over the weekend that I will be getting all the Deep Cut episodes back under the John Rocha's Deep Cut umbrella. So I will be reissuing them every Tuesday as a classics episode for people to listen to, but not watch. Unfortunately, Collider would not let me have the videos of some of those episodes, but they let me have all the audio. So I will be doing that, repurposing them, taking out those Podcast One commercials and all that jazz, and just putting my own stamp on all of them. So look for those coming up on the Deep Cut as well. They're all part of the Outlaw Nation YouTube channel that's blowing up, or that's developing here, and hope blows up. Real Geek says, chat group, have a great day. John, you're the best. Catch you later on SEN. Peace and RIP, Kobe and all. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll be hosting SEN Live at 10 a.m. this morning, so don't forget to tune in for that as well. Kate Mulligan joining me. Number of people jumping in. Ellis is coming in at 11, so there's a lot we're going to be handling there over at SEN Live. Let's see. Sorry, guys. My throat's still waking up. Manny Gonzalez, I'm glad you got the help, John, and you're still here. Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm glad we're all still here, to be honest with you. Danny Carvello, Jake Jacobetta, let me say that I hate everyone that was in the live event just because I wasn't there. With that being said, I love you guys so much. PC says, I got the Chiefs too for the Super Bowl. All these guys having their conversations about the live event. Fish and chips plus tea, Reginald Brown music. Yes, long live the Queen. Let's see. My Brazilian blood boils after that pineapple. Okay, I don't know what these guys are having their own conversation here. Tony Robinson, what's up, Rocha? What's up, Tony? How you doing, my man? Kevin Merton says it sucks that we never got a Kobe versus LeBron NBA Finals match. Yeah, true. It's kind of how it went down. But of course, LeBron faced Tim Duncan and a few of the great legends in those finals. So he's, he made his claim there. Kenneth Daisy, 2 videos dropping in one day and the ever-changing filming location. I don't know what that means. Maybe he's talking about me. I'm not sure. Jake, finally, we have something in common. Oh, yeah, those Americans don't know how to make video. All right. Some people have some of the Action Army people have told me that that I sometimes will read these comments to myself. Well, only because I don't want to read the comments that have nothing to do with what we're talking about, but comments between they're chatting between each other. So sometimes I'll do that. So there it is. Can I tell you, that chair in the background looks comfy? Oh yeah, that's the IKEA chair back there. Yeah, that's my reading chair. Now you know these boxes. These boxes are stuff that I've received from studios. And I'll be processing about doing giveaways and also selling some of this stuff. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do that and see if you all want to get like these books, like that Irishman book that's there, the This Is Us book that's there that you see there. There's also the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood lunchbox that's there. Those are cool. Not selling that belt. That's for damn sure. That belt's not being sold there. Let's see. Happy to see you start. Oh, Paul says, happy to see you start the Deep Cut 2.0. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. Honestly, man, that was one of my most proudest things that I ever created at Collider. I wasn't allowed to create too much. I pitched a lot of things, wasn't approved for a lot of things for a number of reasons. Maybe someday I'll get into that if someone ever wants to have me on their podcast to talk about it and tell you what was really going on behind the scenes. I got to finally do that. And I had to lobby to do a push to do that. Finally got my own show and got to bring people in who I didn't like that were being rejected by. So I had to I got to bring people in that were being told no by Collider, by people who were hosting other shows at Collider. I wanted to bring them in to give them a focus and talk to them and expand our brand, documentaries, people who had been famous in the past, people who, things of that nature, and get their conversations, because there's more to fandom than just interviewing the hot flavor of the month. There's more to building a brand than just like, oh, what's currently topical. You also have to build out that you understand the history and the legacy of film and television. And that's what I was trying to do with the Deep Cut, that there are more than just, one of the proudest things I had with the Deep Cut was when Jay Roach and Charles Randolph's representatives, who just did Bombshell, they reached out to me because of the previous interviews I'd done with other clients of the publicists. And they loved the interviews. And all of them reached out to me and said, if you're going to start Deep Cut someplace else again, we want to bring you our clients back. So in order to do that, I need to get a studio that I really feel comfortable with and proud of, that people can walk into and feel like they're going to have a professional experience. So that's what I'm working on now, negotiating at this point. So stay tuned for all of that. I got plans, I got visions, got dreams, got things I want to put in motion, and it's all happening because of the support from all of you at Outlaw Nation, which means the world to me. You don't even know, it means the world to me. All right, so John Rocha, hey John, how are you feeling overall after all the changes? Everything good? I'm getting there. It takes some time, but I'm getting there. Mike, John, you're the man. Happy you are guest hosting on SEN. Yes, so am I. I always appreciate Christian giving me a shot at doing that. I've been enjoying that very much. Anything? Will you be watching Raw tonight? This is Anything and Everything. If so, anyway, you can live stream, watch along. I probably, maybe. Let me think about it. That's actually not a bad suggestion. Maybe. I was thinking of doing another live stream later on tonight. The girlfriend, she has classes now on Monday nights, so I was thinking I could do late live stream, like 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time live streams. Maybe go for a couple of hours before the lady comes home. For you all, for those of you who are in different countries or different time zones, or for those people who like to stay up late at night, I thought it might be fun. Andrew just said, cool. Saw your tweet about how cool female Seven Samurai type film, and your enthusiasm about that during the podcast. Would love something like that. I love Lady Snowblood. Yeah, Lady Snowblood's pretty awesome, and the sequel as well. DJ Dash TV Rocha, which do you think was the worst casting / character portrayal? Leto as Joker, or that dude that played Luthor in Batman vs Superman? Even Tommy Lee Jones was a better Joker. LOL. Well, Tommy Lee Jones was the Riddler. I mean, Two-Face, rather. He was not the Joker. So that's incorrect there, DJ Dash. But I didn't mind Leto's Joker. I know a lot of people hated it, but for what he was given, for what they'd set up in the movie, it seemed to fit. It's not like that movie was a great movie. It just fit what he was doing. I wasn't even the biggest fan of Margot Robbie and what she did with Harley Quinn in that movie. So I liked what she did, and I didn't just go over crazy for it. I thought Will Smith really acquitted himself in that movie well. So for me, that's the thing at the end of the day. So yes, I'll definitely take that, because I did not like Eisenberg's Luthor in BVS. I think it's the worst Luthor I've ever seen. And no fault to him. The behind the scenes rumors was that Eisenberg had been training to play the Riddler in BVS, and then they adjusted that he would play the Joker, when who they really wanted to play the Joker, it fell through. And Eisenberg said, well, I'm not changing what I've been developing and building, so this is who I'm going to play. And so the Riddler is going to be what I've been preparing for. The Riddler is how I'm going to play the Joker. So that's the rumors. Who knows if one day he'll tell us if that's true, but that was the rumors. Let's see. Timmy, he's my number one always from PC. Kente Lela, Kenetezi. LOL, used to seeing your office area from a different angle. Yes, there's more space now, and I'll be getting a new office chair as well, because this thing is too damn old. Roberto Arsenal, what did you think of the movie The Gentleman? I really liked it. I'm going to record a review of it. You know, one of the things that I want to do more and more on the Outlaw Nation channel is reviews. Record a quick 5-minute reviews. You know, I have that Bad Boys for Life one up there. Or maybe I'll do a 10-minute review and kind of talk and loop it into like Guy Ritchie films and talk about Guy Ritchie films on the tail end of that. So, but definitely, I'll be doing a Gentleman review sometime. Hopefully, maybe recording it sometime today, but it'll be up tomorrow at some point. And it's a damn good movie. I love the hell out of it. We did a mini review on SEN Live last week between Ben and I on Thursday. So you should take a look at that as well. I sent a Streamlabs. Does Rocha read those on her? Yes, let's jump on. Thank you for reminding me, Reese. I apologize. Let's jump into this thing. Let's see. Reese, you did donate $1. Thank you, Reese. I appreciate that. Hey, John, I was wondering if you would ever try Red Dead Redemption 2. Again, one of my favorite stories ever, and it actually got me into Western films. I think you would absolutely love it. I would love to see a review or playthrough on the channel. Well, Reese, it's funny you say that because what I am doing is going to start a Twitch channel at some point as well, and people can watch me playing that Red Dead Redemption. A number of people told me that that's the way to go. So watching an old man trying to figure out video games. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see if I do it. We'll see how much time I have to do it. But certainly it's something to think. I mean, if Ken Knapsack can be on it, can I be on it? I feel like I should be able to do it. All right, just got to the airport. Peace out, you all. All right, Jake, have a safe flight, my man. Thanks for stopping in. Kenneth Daisy, how about people sending you stuff? I have a Blu-ray set that you may like to add to your collection. Oh, well, I appreciate that, Kenneth. Wendy Lee has told me that she has showed me a P.O. box. So I'm looking to get a P.O. box situation. So that I'll put out. And apparently an Amazon wish list. Winston Marshall was saying fans really like to do that as well. So I will at some point create all of that this month before the end of January. I kind of want to have everything set up by the end of January so February can start, boom, taking off. So yes, I definitely will have a P.O. box. People can send stuff to me as well. Manny Gonzalez, did Collider at least let you keep your comfy chair that I always saw you sitting in? No, they did not. They kept the comfy chair. They paid for the comfy chair. I've been trying to find that comfy chair anywhere, and who knows, maybe I'll go to Office Space or Staples today and we'll find it. DJ Jazz TV, the greatest documentary in history is JT, The Rise and Fall of Little Evil. It is, for now. I keep hearing these rumors that there's an outlaw documentary that is in process of being finished, and we'll see if it sees the light of day. I certainly would love it to see the light of day. Danny Carvalho, the ones who dislike this video will feel the wrath of the outlaw. Oh, no, do people dislike it? Grimmesh says, thank you for bringing back Aaron Turner. Love your strong-minded opinions. Yes, thank you, Grimmesh. I know I couldn't do it without Aaron. Like Ryan and I can't do it anymore because Ryan's got responsibilities over at WWE and, of course, his website. But certainly Aaron is great, and I loved working with Aaron on a number of projects. So to be back together talking classic wrestling matches means a lot to both of us, I think. I think this is our way back in. The modern stuff is cool, but I don't think we're 100% dialed into the modern stuff. It's the classic stuff that we think is going to really kind of blow up for people. Paul, are you watching Picard? Yes, I am watching Picard. I love the first episode. Watched it again yesterday. That's another review that I'll be doing as well. So pay attention or stay tuned for all of that kind of stuff. Certainly going to get into all of it and recording it, which I'm confronting my own fears of making these videos and editing them correctly so that you all enjoy them. You know, I just want to create good content that people will enjoy. So I'm nervous, but I'm willing to do it. And that's what I had to kind of confront, is my anxiety about making these videos and have people like tear them apart or make fun of them or lose you guys as fans. That would worry me the most, but I do have big dreams. I do have big plans for doing more and more of these reviews. When are we going to get your 30 for 30? I've been asking for years now. It would be awesome. Yeah, there's rumors about a 30 for 30 for the Outlaw and the Schmoedown coming. So we'll see. Let's see. Justice League is kind of watchable. Sure. That's from Eon001. Do you know who they wanted to play the Joker originally? Rumors are Cranston. Bryan Cranston was the rumors. So I don't know what that was all about. Let's see. Andrew G says, I'm a big X-Men reader collector and actually enjoy the Fox Men film series. Good and bad. Can't wait for New Mutants. I love the last trailer and the horror take fits perfectly for them. How about you? Yeah. I think the horror is the way to go. That was how they pitched it originally. So why not just fully dial into this thing? Disney looks like they understand what they have here. And they know the only way we're going to make money on this is if we go back to what it was intended to be, which is a horror film, and maybe people will enjoy it at that level. I did speak to somebody behind the scenes who I know one of my sources, and I heard that they cut their marketing budget for New Mutants pretty extremely. So that tells me they don't necessarily see it making a lot of money at the box office. So they're going to roll it out and see the reaction. But yeah, that's what I'm hearing from my sources in the studios. Ian 001, wow, it's quite refreshing to be in a chat room with no super chats. No super chats? Oh, it's not refreshing for me. I'd like some super chats. I'd like some Streamlabs. If you all want to donate there, you can. DJ Jazz TV with Rocha, with Doctor Strange 2 losing a director, who would you rather take over, Del Toro or James Wan, since they were going into creepy, trippy stuff? Not James Wan. I think I would lean more towards Del Toro. Could be interesting. I mean, he did such a great job with Blade 2. And, of course, with Hellboy films. So that would be more of interest to me, not so much James Wan, because I wasn't a fan of Aquaman. So there you go. Devin and John, if you heard the news that Bad Robot working on Justice League Dark shows a movie, makes me think they could bring back Swamp Thing, because a lot of people like the show. What is your opinion? Well, we talked about that on Geek Buddies this past week. So if you don't know, the Geek Buddies is another podcast that I do with my friends Michael Vogel and Shannon McClung. Michael Vogel is executive for a number of, he was an executive of Hasbro all through those through most of the Transformers films, but he was a Hasbro for young boys entertainment. There's a lot of the animated stuff like the Transformers, G.I. Joe, all of that stuff. My Little Pony, big part of My Little Pony, Michael was. And Shannon is an actor who also writes animation, and he's done a few animation episodes as well. So we talked about that last week, the idea that Justice League Dark, Bad Robot could be doing Justice League Dark. We love that it's happening. And if it means that J.J. Abrams will now come even closer to doing that Superman film that a lot of people are saying he is in contention for or will be doing. So I'm excited about it. I think it's a great idea. Thank you, Paul, for putting up the links to the Patreon and to the Streamlabs. I'm trying to get the Patreon up to 2,000, 3,000, so that that will fund what I'm trying to do with the Outlaw Nation. And in return, I'm going to give so much more of my time to the Patreon, to the YouTube channel. So I appreciate all of you supporting me in the way that you have. Let's keep this thing going and building. So thank you so much for everyone who's donated already, and for anyone who's thinking about it. Let's do it all together. And there's all multiple tiers. So go in there and take a look. Paul, will you and Steve talk about the passing of Kobe on the Cinephiles? Maybe. I haven't talked to Steve about his feelings on it. It might be a Cinephile short. That's a possibility. That's what we do for the Patreons. It's like an extra thing if you're a patron of the Cinephiles. That's CINE-FILES. If you want to go and listen to that podcast. For the patrons, we do these things called the Cinephile shorts, and just take one topic that a patron suggests. We talk about it for 10 to 15 minutes. So maybe Kobe Bryant will be one of them. We'll see. Philip Gustafson says, hello, everybody. I am very late to the chat or to work. I don't know. Hope not to work. Kevin Merton, digging the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood box in the back. Yeah, the lunchbox there. Pretty cool, right? I'm a fan of it. I got to figure out how I can get the scope to be all in focus. I just noticed it's a little blurry back there, so I don't know if there's a setting on the camera or when I do this. That's the next step, of course, for me. I wouldn't take down the old videos personally. Look at SEN Live or the John Campy Show and look at how it started in the first few episodes compared to how it is now. I like being able to look back. Oh, all right. I respect that. Okay, I haven't taken down anything except for that one stream. I just thought it wasn't professional looking. But yes, everything else I've left up. I am Lamson. Hey, Rocha, loved your one-on-one with Christian. Thank you. I went to George Mason, so it's good to hear you. Cool to hear you went there for a short time. Yeah, a short time. It was not a good experience for me. I am Lamson, not a good experience for a number of reasons. My great-grandfather was C.C. Beck, who was one of the original people involved in Shazam Captain Marvel. Awesome to see your love for that character. Oh, yeah, that's great. Do I have my Captain Marvel? Oh, I haven't put him up yet. I have a Captain Marvel figure. I haven't put up there. There's some Funko Pops back there. See my Optimus Prime. There's the Scarface thing. See my Spring Load over here somewhere. Oh, maybe that's what it is. I have to move my finger back, and then it becomes in focus. I don't know. That's so weird. All right. Well, congratulations to you. I am Lamson. Please send me some CC Beck stories. Maybe we'll do something down the road. The Last Sith just came to say hello and good morning to the Outlaw all the way from Newfoundland. Newfoundland! That's awesome. Hey, man. Newfoundland is great. A lot of legend around Newfoundland. What happened? I think Newfoundland, isn't that part of the Come From Away? Is that Newfoundland, or am I wrong? Correct me on that, Last Sith, because I went to see that musical a year and a half ago. Pretty incredible musical, man. Omar94, did you like Kobe Bryant's Dear Basketball short film with John Williams' music? I think it's really good. Yes, it's excellent, Omar. I watched it again, obviously, in honor of Kobe yesterday. Really just a sweet video. movie rather short, and something. If you haven't watched it, you should go. Any of you who are watching this or listening to me right now, Dear Basketball, definitely you should put that on there. Well, let's see here. Andrew G. I already spoke about that after with JJ. Oh, wait. Oh, taking over DC. Do you think after his fall with Rise of Skywalker? Okay, let me read this again. Andrew G. What do you think about JJ and the Bad Robot taking over DC comic properties after his fall with Rise of Skywalker? In my opinion, I think he should. I think he should be kept away from big things like that for a little while. No, I think DC is not Star Wars. Star Wars has 9 million cooks in the kitchen, so it's hard to satisfy. Plus, all the fandom that wants to be in the kitchen as well. So that's tough to satisfy. I think with DC, they're on a little bit of a run. And I think Abrams has that sensibility. Look at that first Star Trek, that 2009 Star Trek. That tells you what he can do. Look at Force Awakens. That tells you what he can do. So maybe don't hand him the trilogy, but you can certainly hand him a film to see what JJ can do with Superman. I personally would love to see what could happen there. Danny Carvalho, John, I'm so happy for you that you're rebuilding. There are so much people here who love and support you. We got you, my homie. Thank you, Danny. I appreciate that. Step by step, brother, building. I didn't want to, I know I rushed out the gate, but stumbled a little bit, had to figure things out, and so I'm slowly but surely doing that. Kenneth Daisy says, I will either follow up my last email with a pic of the box set or tweet it to you. I got it, and it just sits on the shelf, but I'm sure you like it. All right, thanks, man. DJ-TV Rocha, which are your favorite films you most recommend about alien encounters? About alien encounters? I think Communion is pretty awesome, the Christopher Walken film from the 80s. Fire in the Sky, that's a pretty intense alien interaction film. If you haven't seen with D.B. Sweeney, that thing messed me up. I remember taking my first girlfriend from Virginia. Toy Ray was her name. We went. She's a teacher in Maryland, I think, for ballet and whatever. But she was my first girlfriend. I remember taking her to see that, and I was like messed up. She had to take care of me the rest of the night because I was just messed up from how visually stunning and real and viscerally real that those alien encounters are in that movie. Fire in the Sky with D.B. Sweeney, James Garner. Mike says, super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. Cinephiles is the best movie podcast out there. Thank you, Eric. Eric Field said that. Thank you so much, Eric. I appreciate that. Paul Denuzzo says, all right, I have to run to see Ed Harris in A Small World, Last Full Measure. Take care, Outlaw and the Nation. Take care, you, Paul. Take care, Action Army. Thank you so much for moderating and sitting in, my man. Always appreciated. Rocha, what is your favorite Latin music genre from DJ-TV? Look, I'm a big fan of Buena Vista Social Club, so that kind of Cuban music is my jam, to be honest with you. And, of course, for me, the Andes music, the Andean music from South America, from Bolivia, from Peru, from Colombia, the Andean music is my jam. It goes back. Every time I hear it, it brings me back it feels almost like past lives type of thing, where I immediately hear that music and I'm taken back to being my heritage, my ancestors. I feel connected to my ancestors when I hear that music. Danilo Judd, so happy I could join the live stream. Just waiting for the next class to start. Congratulations, Danilo. TJ with a terrible comment. Tim Franco, John Campia. Yeah, I don't look. What do you want me to say? I think everyone said what they needed to say about it, and people went after him, and rightly so. Drew McWeeny, Joe Carnahan certainly went after Campia for that comment. But if you've ever worked with John Campia or spoken with John Campia, you know his points of views on those kinds of things. He's never shy for expressing himself. I appreciated his Collider comments about a certain British somebody in his tweet. I thought it was a great video. Certainly, he used a lot of words that I felt about the situation. But then when he had Mark on with no one else to counter Mark's comments or points of view, I thought it was a ratings grab and Campia going back to what Campia does. So that's John Campia. Love him or hate him. He certainly has a great following, great fan base who are devoted to John. So, and he's got a great show that he does that people love. So can't say anything negative in that way about his abilities. Videos by Andrew. John Rogan, increase your camera iris to get more of your view in focus. How do I do that? Tell me how to do that on the webcam. I don't know how to do that on the webcam. Maybe there's a setting on it that I can do that with. I don't have time right now. I got to get going. Let's see. Paul, super chat. Love you and Steve on the Cinephiles podcast. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate that. We're in the middle of the month of Kurosawa. Maybe some of you who are late to the thing you didn't know. We are doing a month of Kurosawa right now. We just finished doing Seven Samurai over 2 episodes, and we're going to record our commentary for Yojimbo and drop it on Friday. So please go and download the Cinephiles. Go and sign up for the Cinephiles, and even become a patron of the Cinephiles if you like it. If you like what we're doing, it is in essence a film class. Every week, Steve and I, we've been doing this for 3 or 4 years now. We take a classic film or a great film. Sometimes we'll take a guilty pleasure movie, but we break it down through the entire podcast. And we go scene by scene, talk about the themes, talk about the acting, talk about the reception of the film, the legacy of the film, some pre-production stuff before we start talking about the film, all of it. So you get, in essence, a film class for your listening pleasure. Let's see here. I'm just saying I encourage anyone with DC Universe to watch Swamp Thing. Andy Bean was a great. Alec Holland, James Wan did a great show, but please watch it if you can. If you can, I hope this is okay, John. I love this show. Sure, a lot of people liked Swamp Thing, so I respect that. And some people didn't, but a lot of people did. So it was a shame that only lasted 1 season for a lot of reasons, and it had nothing to do with that money North Carolina bullshit. It was all about the fact that the people who were in charge of it didn't like working with the people who were the creators of it. So it was an issue after it got bought out by Warner's. Warmer 94 as a comic reader being okay. Omar 94 as a comic reader and being the Outlaw. Did you like the Jonah Hex comic series run from Jimmy Palmiotti? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Didn't like that movie, but I certainly like the Jonah Hex run. It's pretty awesome. I put that in the pile with Hellblazer. Those kind of like out of the mainstream superheroes that are pretty great to read, and when the right person gets in charge of them, they are awesome. Jamal Pulliam, hi Luke Rocha. Do you have a favorite movie talk episode that you did? Jamal, why? I love that you're commenting and leaving me. Why are you calling me Luke Rocha? Is that a Luke Skywalker thing? Is that what that is? Am I two sons? Am I looking out to go on to the next phase of my life? Is that why you call me that? Because I like it. I like it. But let me know. Maybe there's another reason. Let's see. You asked me that. What did you ask? Oh, favorite movie talk episode? I don't know, anything with Jeff Snyder. Snyder and I always had a lot of fun. Or anytime I hosted when Mark Ellis was a guest, those were awesome movie talk episodes. Because see, movie talk to me was supposed to be about having fun talking about movies. And yes, we talk about the news, whatever, but we'd also talk about and not take it too seriously. And I think that was the problem as movie talk was losing viewers is it was being approached like people were taking it too seriously. When I hosted, I liked having fun when I was hosting on Movie Talk. I was a different style, different approach. I think my approach would have worked if I had become the main host and we had stayed with it. I think the approach would have worked. More fans would have come back to enjoy it because if you remember, that's what it was with Christian Campia and Schnepp and those guys. That legacy is what I grew up watching with Collider Movie Talk, or not grew up, sorry, but that's when I discovered Movie Talk. When I was asked to be on, Ellis is it was fun to talk about that stuff. They still talked about the facts and when it was serious, talk about serious stuff. But overall, it was a more relaxed, fun approach where you didn't take everything so seriously. You weren't afraid to piss off the studios or piss off the actors and all that jazz that it became at the end. That just grounded to a halt. And you fans sensed it, and you fans felt it. That it wasn't 100% what you wanted it to be. There's no need to go out of the way to insult the studios or the actors. We didn't want to do that. But I thought not taking it too seriously because it's made up film. Film is made up stories. TV is made up stories. It shouldn't be taken so incredibly seriously. Yes, you should respect it and take it serious to a point. But you should also understand that you can play with it and it's okay. So I think that's what we lost with Movie Talk at the end there. And it's no shock to me that the views went down because people didn't want to see that. They wanted relaxed, playful stuff and enjoyable things. And that would have been my approach to Movie Talk had I been handed the mantle to host it and to executive produce it. But I wasn't. Another person was handed that, and they had earned their shot at trying to do what they could do with it. And unfortunately, eventually they decided to shut down the entire video division on January 2nd this year, which was a shame. Andrew G said, yeah, holy hell, Fire in the Sky scared the shit out of me too when I was a kid. Yeah, it still does. Yeah, it does. It certainly does. James Bertoft, hey, Outlaw, greetings from Northern England. I know you're the cowboy, but got to say you would make a great Yorkshire man like myself. Keep bringing the fire to the Schmoedown. A Yorkshire man, Yorkshire. What did I just see? I just saw Happy Valley. Isn't that in Yorkshire? I really enjoyed that series. We went right through it, my girlfriend and I. Sarah Lancashire was fantastic in that show. I think that's a Yorkshire. So give me, I got to wrap up here in the next 15 minutes, but give me what a Yorkshire man is, or tweet at me or email me what a Yorkshire man is, because I'd like to explore that. I appreciate that. Tim Franco said, someone brought him up, so I said it. Moving on now. Tim, dude, you know I love you. I respect you. I respect your point of view. And I agree. So let it be at that. Danilo Judd, John, what would you think if DC had R-rated movies and completely ditched PG-13? I think you can never ditch any rating. I think it's a mistake to ditch any rating because you don't know what character is going to work for PG-13 perfectly. So I'm not a big fan of eliminating things. I'm a bigger fan of keeping things around just in case. Of course, it drives my girlfriend crazy because I have things that I should be getting rid of, but you never know, just in case. So that's what I would say. Yes, I love the idea of them having R-rated movies totally. So keep that option too. R-rated, PG, PG-13, even G maybe down the road. If you do maybe the younger, like child superheroes, that's a possibility as well. Let's see. Dylan Steiner just got out of surgery. So hi, John. Oh, shit. Dylan. Well, I hope you're okay, man. Thank you for tuning into the live chat. It means a lot that you come out of your surgery to listen to our shenanigans here, or my shenanigans here on this live chat. Appreciate it. Oh, sorry about that. Spit a little bit. Let's see. Danny Carvalho, you are definitely improving. HD camera, new scenario. Only the comfy chair is missing. Yeah, I may buy it today. You never know, depending on the price. Some of those office chairs are super expensive, so we'll see. Tim Franco, I had a great hours last night and maple mornings from, oh, they're talking about beer. There you go. All right. Ryan Lindler, you are the best. I can help out with some graphics for your channel. Whatever you need, you are the best. Oh, thank you, Ryan. Well, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for an Outlaw Nation sports stuff. And it's an Outlaw Nation live stream, a more updated Outlaw Nation live stream kind of logo or approach, so I can put up there. But the thing is, I want to do those thumbnails like Collider used to do the thumbnails, which Adam Smith was so great at, and Cody Hall and Christian Ruvalcaba. They were so great at Remsen. They were so good at developing those thumbnails. I would like to do that as well. So if you can do great thumbnails, that's really where my issue is, and do like little logos. I'd love to have someone who I can consistently email and go, hey, I've got a show coming up. These are things I'm talking about. Can you send me a quick thumbnail so I can put it up? That would mean a lot to me. So if anybody is willing to do that for me, because I don't have money to spend. So if you're willing to do that for me out of the kindness of your heart and get some shout out and love for me on social media and on these live streams or the shows I do, that would be great. Let's see. Fernando Russo said The Seven Samurai is my favorite. Yes, I agree. Let's see. DJ Jazz Rocha, what are some of the recent movies that have made such an impression you can't go sleep without thinking about it afterwards? Joker. Certainly Joker. 1917 did that as well. And Parasite. Absolutely Parasite. Mike, I love Perry, but you were a great guest host of Movie Talk. You should do something similar on your channel. Look, this is what I'm building towards, right? But this is just an office studio. There's no way I can set up a whole setup in here without taking over the entire studio. So, but that's the plans in motion, and of course working with SEN as well. So that could be something that coming down the line. So just keep it all open. I think I've developed into it. I don't want to say this in an arrogant way, but I think I've developed into a damn good host, and so I'd like the opportunity to show what I can do. And part of doing all these shows is keeping me sharp and keeping me connected to you guys and seeing what I can do and learning and getting better and better. This is my job. I'm a blue collar boy. I like to do what I do, and I fight hard to do what I do. Rednecks 42. Hey, oh, hey, what's going on, Rednecks? How you doing? Omar 94 says, since you're the outlaw, can westerns be big again, like in the top 10 grossing movies each year? I've never liked westerns, but I can change my mind if ones come out and I find them good. Well, sure. I don't think it'll ever go to the point that it was before, because there was something great about westerns at the time that they blew up in the 50s and 40s, 50s, and 60s, and 30s, and 20s. I think a little bit too is we were just coming out of that whole expansion of the country into the West. So people saw the mythology of westerns and American heroes and that kind of stuff. And we hadn't had a lot of American heroes that we could talk about up to that point in film. So that's what kind of westerns became. It's a uniquely American genre that has obviously influenced samurai films. Don't bring up that tweet again. But it is, I don't think we're there anymore, because the idea of us expanding now comes a little bit negative because colonialism gets involved in that. So I don't think westerns necessarily have that. But every once in a while, a great one will come out or a good one comes out and you can enjoy. You can find a lot of smaller westerns that have come out over the last few years that are incredible to enjoy. Salvation is fantastic from Mads Mikkelsen. Mads Mikkelsen. Slow West is great if you haven't seen that. So there's a lot of smaller westerns. Meek's Cutoff is good. that are dancing around that you can go and enjoy. The Missing with Kate Blanchett, I thought was fantastic. Let's see here. Yeah, there you go. Last minute. Thank you. Yes, it was set in Newfoundland. Right. I interviewed one of the executive producers for the documentary, not the show, but the documentary that was done about 9/11 when those planes had to be grounded in Newfoundland, that inspired the Come From Away musical. That story inspired the Come From Away musical, but a documentary that was done last year and screened on September 11th last year. I was very privileged to speak to the executive producer of that. And that's going to be one of those episodes I drop. One of those classic episodes I drop on the Outlaw Nation, on this YouTube channel, under the Deep Cut playlist, John Rocha's Deep Cut playlist. So, Danny Corello, where's the cowboy hat? You're an imposter, you evil clone. The cowboy hat is up there. Sorry, guys. Right up there, sitting there on top of the belt where it belongs. See that? So, I'm trying to get my framing right so I don't go too high and too low. People think I've got too much headspace on some of these videos, so I'm trying to improve. I can help with thumbnails, Jake Yacovetto. Really, Jake? Don't bullshit me, dude, because I really need that. It's the one thing that I'm not good at. I'm learning to edit video quicker and quicker, but like the thumbnails thing is an issue for me. So if I can send you stuff, let's create a universal thing that we can add on to. That would be awesome. And each one of them has to have different look. Like deep cut thumbnails have to look different from strong style thumbnails, from Outlaw Nation sports thumbnails, from Outlaw Nation live stream thumbnails, those kinds of things. Oh, and by the way, I should tell people I will be putting all these live streams up in podcast form on the Outlaw Nation channel or YouTube. I'm sorry, Outlaw Nation podcast. That I think I'm going to get Jeff Snyder. I was negotiating with Roxy, but Roxy's gotten super busy. I might not be able to get Roxy, but I might get Jeff to be my first guest on the show, Jeff Snyder, for Outlaw Nation, the comeback of Outlaw Nation. So look for that and the news coming up later on this week. Manny Gonzalez said, hey, I remember you used to love the Movie Talk logo when you were on. Oh, yeah, I used to talk about the Movie Talk logo. That's true. Look at that thing. All right, Jamal Pulliam, it's because I always thought of you as the Luke Hobbs of the Movie Talk crew. When Campia was the leader of the Movie Talk crew, I thought of him as the Dom Toretto of the crew. Yeah, well, I like that. I'll take that comparison. I'm happy to be compared to The Rock and anything. And I think, yeah, I've got that kind of sensibility. Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. Grimash, what scenarios do you see in front of Edge in the WWE? Was it one of the? Oh, yeah, so let's talk about that. I'm sorry. Let's talk about that. So the Royal Rumble was fantastic. Thoroughly loved it. I'm sorry. I was answering all your questions and getting to the, yeah. I absolutely enjoyed the Royal Rumble. Not every one of the matches was fantastic. I liked the Becky match. Thought that was good. I didn't like the Bayley match, but that has to do with the fact that Bayley and Lacey just have no chemistry in the ring. But they had to play that storyline out. So be it. The Women's Royal Rumble I thought was enjoyable for a number of reasons. Molly Holly coming back, Beth Phoenix coming back. We got to see a lot of the NXT ladies jumping in there, and of course Shayna Baszler, who I thought should have won. But, you know, they got to push Charlotte Flair. That's kind of how this whole thing goes. But Charlotte cut a cool, quick, excellent promo right at the end. We spoke to the fans. You may not like it, but I am still the queen. This is my ring, right at the camera. I thought that was a great way to do it. Yes, I am. Yes. Sorry, RB3 is asking me if I'm hosting this morning. Let me answer him real quick. And also, I thought the men's Royal Rumble was great. Brock Lesnar throwing everybody over one at a time. I thought was fantastic. And of course, it set up what happened with Drew McIntyre. So people were upset initially, but I was loving it. I didn't even know that what was going to happen with Drew happened with Drew. That was fantastic to see him doing that. So I loved it. And then eventually, boom, when he got knocked out and Drew eventually ended up winning, I thought it was great. So overall, I thought it was a fun Royal Rumble. And tune in later or for Strong Style. That's my new professional wrestling show. Go take a look at it. Yeah. Go take a look at that and the Strong Style episode that's up on the YouTube channel now. Our first episode, Aaron Turner and I talking about the 92 Royal Rumble with Ric Flair. We're going to do either later today or tomorrow. We're going to record a quick thoughts about the Royal Rumble. We're going to put that up on YouTube and on the podcast channel as well. So it's only been approved so far for Anchor and Spotify. So hopefully at some point down the road, iTunes approves it, Google Podcasts approves it, Pocket Cast approves it. That would be great. So let's see here. James Burtoff, you answer my question. Yes, Happy Valley is set and filmed about 5 miles from me. The best definition of a true Yorkshireman is Sean Bean in either Game of Thrones or LOTR, fortitude, loyalty, and strength. I like it. I like it. I'll take it. I'll absolutely be a Yorkshireman if that's the definition. Danilo Judd says, I have a channel myself, and yeah, it's a grind with the thumbnails and everything, and it does take money, but I always think it's content, and the rest will come eventually. Yeah, that's my goal. That's my goal, my man. I appreciate you being supportive of that, and I'm supportive back to you. Good luck with your channel, my man. Scott O, in honor of the Grammys, what's your favorite music biography movie? Oh, damn. Oh. Well, I really loved Rocket Man recently. I think La Bamba might be my favorite. I mean, Walk the Line is good. The Buddy Holly story is good. I think Control is fantastic, which is about Ian Curtis and the guys who and Joy Division. I think that's a fantastic music bio if no one's seen that. I got to wrap up in 5 minutes, guys, so I'm going to try and rip through your questions real quick. Eternity Forever, what is up, Rocha? What's up, man? Dory Dohabit says, I love a new Western called Bone Tomahawk. Yeah, Bone Tomahawk is a great Western and a horror as well. So please watch that. Jeremy Velez, hi, John. Glad to catch the stream. Hey, Jeremy, what's going on? Andrew G, great live chat today, Rocha. Thanks for getting my questions. Keep up the great work, man. Best of luck always. Thank you. Nikki L. Brown, keep up the good work, Outlaw. Thank you. PC, yay, Jake, always helpful. Cool. Andrew G, will your Outlaw audio shows be available on Spotify? Yes, I'm working towards that for sure. Little off topic, my Saints are looking at drafting wide receiver Justin Jefferson from LSU. I personally think we need defense, but oh well. Yeah, but you know, if you're going to make the transition from Drew Brees to possibly, oh gosh, why can't I think of the quarterbacks? Teddy Bridgewater, you're going to need receivers and more receivers. It can't just be Michael Thomas. So maybe they think they need a little bit more help there. Haskell, Rocha, we missed you in New York, my brother. Yeah, I'm sorry, Ed, I couldn't make it out, dude. I apologize. Just didn't work out financially and also didn't work out storyline-wise. So cool that Ben handled his business there. I just woke up like 15 minutes ago. My sleep schedule is so effed right now. I bet. Devin says, I feel like Vince going to say I knew he was the chosen one. LOL. Yeah, right. With McIntyre, sure. John Rogan, this is Zeno Hour. What do you think of the speculation that Charlotte will challenge Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania? I think that's awesome. It's weird. It would be weird for her to challenge Rhea for the NXT title, but or NXT Championship, not the NXT Women's title, NXT Championship title. But could be fun. I mean, Rhea's tough as nails. So why not? Haskell Fortune, Rumble's good overall. I've watched Edge's entrance 14 times already. Yeah, a lot of people were very much about Edge's entrance there. Ed, good call. Jamal Pulliam says he loved the last Royal Rumble match. DJ Jazz TV says, who would you rather be thrown in a cage match a la Peter Parker and Bonesaw for full funding Brock Lesnar or Batista? Brock Lesnar. Absolutely. Brock Lesnar, because every time, I don't know if it's real or not. And those wrestlers look legitimately scared when they walk into a ring with Brock Lesnar. It's like Andre the Giant. I haven't seen anything since Andre the Giant scare people more, and you can see it in them, than Brock Lesnar does, because they don't know if he's going to really kill him or not. Of course, he's not going to really kill him, but they don't know what they're going to do. Omar94 says, I know how much you love Citizen Kane. It wasn't for me, unfortunately. It has great scenes and moments. I really like Orson Welles and Rosebud. Reveal was really good, but it just didn't click with me. Okay, cool. That's cool, Omar. So your prerogative. Tim Franco, I love La Bamba. Haskell says La Bamba, Buddy Holly, Metallica, some kind of that's a documentary. There's a difference. He's talking about biopic. Biopic is not a documentary, so yes. Tim Franco says he just watched La Bamba a few nights ago. Right? It still holds up. We talked about it on Cinephiles, one of my favorite episodes we've ever done. It is great. Still holds up. And I don't know what happened to that director, why he didn't, Luis Velez, why he didn't do more. Fernando Varuso says, Walk the Line is a favorite musical biopic film. Respect. Manny Gonzalez, La Bamba has a great song, number one for a long time. Let's see. And anything and everything. Is Drew going to challenge Brock or The Fiend? Oh, he's challenging Brock. Brock, he eliminated Brock. He's definitely going to challenge Brock. Brock's going to make him challenge him for the belt. There's no way that doesn't happen, in my opinion. The Last Sith, Ed. I don't know what Ed means. All right. Ed Haskell, right. That's what he's talking about. Thumbs up. Great job, guys. PC152 says that. Thumbs up. Great job, guys. All right. Zeno Hour. We need Led Zeppelin and Ozzy Osbourne biopics. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. All right. I got 2 minutes. I should wrap this up here now. Do a little plugs for everybody. Thank you all so much for being a part of this live stream and I had about 150 of you on here the whole time and 153 likes. So that's pretty good. I like that variation there. Thanks so much for joining me this morning. Tune in to me on SEN Live. I'm heading over there right now. Love to all of you. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't yet. If you want to donate, you can do so on Streamlabs. Do I have any more Streamlabs before I go? No, I don't have any more Streamlabs. But I thank all of you for donating on the Super Chat and all the stuff you do for me, helping me out. You guys are the best. Please don't forget, Strong Style Episode 1, the Pro Wrestling Show just dropped. Today it's on the YouTube channel. It's up on Anchor and Spotify, Strong Style. I've got the Zombieland Double Tap event thing that I put up. And also, a lot of you have been listening to the new John Rocha's Deep Cut. The YouTube is up there. The episode is up there on the playlists. You can listen to me talk to Madeline Arthur, Brendan K. Meyer, the kid, and Elliot Knight about Color Out of Space. It means so much. So, all right, that's it. Thanks so much. Follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. Don't forget my Patreon, www.patreon.com/John Rocha. Donate there. Building. And I said, John Mariano and I are going to have a conversation about how I can be more involved with the patrons over on my Patreon so they get a lot of bang for their buck. I know I've been kind of shirking that a little bit or falling short a little bit. I'm going to make way more of a concerted effort to make that happen. All right. Love all of you. Take care of yourselves. Have a great rest of your day today. And I'll talk to you next time. And look out, I may be doing these consistently every morning from 8 to 9:30. So I may be your wake-up call. Some of you have been asking about a pseudo movie talk. This is just my personal one maybe at that point. All right, take care of yourselves. Love you. We'll talk soon. And take care. Bye-bye.